In this video, we will discuss the biological mechanisms of how sleep works. So why is it that you feel sleepy at night and awake during the day? The reason is that you have a biological clock in your brain that keeps you in sync with the time of day, making you feel awake when it's light out. Our biological clock is a tiny structure made up of approximately 50,000 nerve cells. It's found in the hypothalamus, the part of the brain that's behind our eyes. The fancy scientific name for the biological clock is the suprachiasmatic nucleus, and it's responsible for a process called clock-dependent alerting. This means that it's responsible for making you feel alert at certain times of the day. But how? The suprachiasmatic nucleus receives light signals from the optic nerves, which help synchronize your biological clock with the day-to-night cycle. The suprachiasmatic nucleus is then able to regulate the specific timing of many other internal body systems, such as alertness, core body temperature, hormone production, cell regeneration, and many other biological activities. The cyclic pattern of these systems is called your circadian rhythm. Clock-dependent alerting is strongest around 9 to 11 a.m. and 9 to 11 p.m., and weakest around 3 to 5 p.m. This is why we feel most alert in the morning and later at night, and have dips in energy after lunch. Sleep drive is your urge to fall asleep depending on how long you've been awake and the amount of sleep debt you've accumulated. When your clock-dependent alerting is stronger than your sleep drive, you are awake and alert. But when your sleep drive becomes stronger than your clock-dependent alerting, you become sleepy and have the potential to fall asleep. Our sleep drive increases the longer we stay awake, and is therefore the strongest at night before we fall asleep, and diminishes as we sleep. Neurons in the part of the brain called the brainstem and the hypothalamus promote wakefulness by sending signals to the cerebral cortex, the brain's largest region. These arousal signals come in the form of chemicals, called neurotransmitters. The neurotransmitter hypocretin keeps you awake. In other words, when neurons in the arousal areas of the brain are active, the cerebral cortex remains activated and we stay awake. Neurons in another part of the hypothalamus are responsible for the transition from wakefulness to sleep by inhibiting the arousal signals sent from the neurons that promote wakefulness. There are many factors that can influence your sleep. First, there are internal factors, such as your circadian rhythm and sleep drive, as we discussed earlier. And second, there are external factors, such as noise and light. The combination of these factors influence your likelihood of falling asleep or waking up.